crime rates that are worse
than
Washington, D.C. So why aren't these states sending National Guard troops into their own states to deal with the crime issue?
Well, look,
and is that a possibility?
Confederate
well, look, if the local governors will make that determination, we'll leave it at that. I think that there's so much more that we could do. Absolutely not. It's not.
He did the eyeliner
when you make such big progress in a matter of a week and a half, I think you step on the gas and try to make D.C. even more safe.
Whatever you say, buddy. We gotta totally make this more safe. It's all kiki, shade, and subtlety up in here. You know, subtlety. Hey, everybody. This is Dean FM, Dean Fraser Milford, here for your creature comfort. And today, I wanted to do another reaction. Let me survive. And today, we're going to be doing some hashtag FAFO reaction on TikTok. These are the people on the right who are voted for, not even on the right, some of them are just, a lot of them are right. You know, they voted for Trump, and now they're regretting to vote for Trump, because a lot of us told them. Please make sure to like and subscribe. All my stuff is down below. This one says, MAGA really did it this time. Brooke Collins says, able-bodied people on Medicaid will be going to work.
Oh, MAGA, you're in trouble.
What they doing?
Apparently, there's a shortage of workers on the farm. But don't worry, MAGA. Brooke Collins, who heads agriculture, says that she has a solution. Seems like Trump and Brooke Collins have put their heads together and come up with a solution to solve the problem on the farms losing workers. Let's watch the video and see what Brooke Collins has to say to solve this issue.
What you gotta say, girl? Come on.
Enough. There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
Did you hear that, MAGA? They're saying if you're able-bodied and on Medicaid,
what they're gonna want you to do.
You are going to work in the fields.
Up two.
MAGA, this is where it hits you. You're going to work in the fields.
A lot of them are like, oh, we don't want them to take our jobs. But guess what? Now, those jobs are the ones that are of a necessity. The jobs that you so-called didn't want to take. Now, some of the hottest jobs on the market, so to say. The vacancies are popping. And the necessity for hiring has grown very, unfortunately, due to the mass deportation efforts and all that type of thing.
What goes around comes around.
That song? Should be. Okay, this one says, silent middle child, and they've already arrested a veteran for burning the flag in protest. Yeah, I hear about that. Tell me what y'all think about burning the flag. I think that, in general, first of all, kudos. That's the least of the country's concerns, believe me. Such thing as freedom of protest, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of a lot of things. At the end of the day, you're just picking up a lot of the time at the courts that could be doing other things at that point. So it's just a waste of time. It goes for the Tesla thing. I didn't quite understand why they had kind of made it a domestic terrorist act to have the Tesla burning. I know that they were claiming that was politically motivated, but again, what country are we supposed to be living in here? I don't know. Well, I do know. We're not doing very well.
What do you think about Trump saying that many Americans want a dictator?
He certainly wants a dictator. He wants to be one. As far as many Americans, you know, that's just his way of saying something without actually saying it.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, Trump has a habit of saying things that he believes are true and then disguising it in the form of either a joke or some impassive voice, right? Saying many Americans want this or many people want this, which is not really anything that's verifiable, right? He's just saying it like it's fact. That's basically the hint for MAGA and all the other people that support him to treat it as fact. It's a very common tactic that Fox News uses to make suggestions to their base without actually saying something that could get them sued for libel, right? They'll say something that's factually untrue, but they'll say, well, many people are thinking this in order to get their base to start thinking it too. On top of the language, he's just doing dictator things. We've spoken in the past before about how he loves to praise other dictators. He's spoken well of Putin. He's spoken well of Kim Jong-un, Bolsonaro. He's made claims in the past that, you know, his job would be easier if he was a dictator and he likes the control they have over their population.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, as a malignant narcissist, he wants power and control. Just yesterday, he passed an executive order that is trying to make flag burning illegal. And flag burning, aside from actually being the correct way to dispose of the flag, is a protected form of free speech and protest. And they're trying to make it illegal specifically to suppress protests and to rile up the base against anybody that they deem as unpatriotic, which again fits into the themes of fascism, right? Part of the defining traits of fascism is an overly strong sense of nationalism or patriotism, right? Combined with using a portion of the country's populace as a base to support the fascist government. as opposed to just like pure authoritarianism, which may just oppress all of them. So it fits the pattern.
Do you think this has anything to do with what's going on in D.C.?
Yeah, of course, right? He's gearing up to take total control of the U.S., or at least that's what he wants to do. I'm sure he's putting the National Guard in place in anticipation of protests, where people are going to be, burning flags and other things to show their dissatisfaction with the country. The militarization of D.C. happening at the same time, the arming of the D.C. National Guard. He's just suggested that the death penalty should be used more loosely in D.C., right? He basically wants to unalive anybody that is opposed to him. And it's no coincidence that all these things are happening at the same time, which is why it's most important that we continue to do everything we can to raise attention to this issue, protest and strike to stop him.
No kings. Sad when it comes to the flag burning topic, obviously. I think the Tesla burning, nobody should really be burning cars. I mean, mostly because that's just hazardous. Cars can explode and so on and such with. This is what the country is going through. This is what the deep state or the real people, rational people in this country are viewing this country, are viewing what you're doing, participating in and playing a huge part in and covering your face up often. But the ICE officials, the National Guard, they better not be covering up their face. I hope not. I know that people in the National Guard, they didn't join the National Guard necessarily all the time, I'm sure because of the Trump administration. But at this point, if you are complicit in the National Guard, you are part of the problem as well. I don't care if it's your job. Anything, it could be jobs. Criminality, there is some change of fluxing, coin of flowing sometimes, in criminality, but it often ends up in failure. Lockup. Jails, institutions of death. Did you FAFO yet? If deploying the National Guard is up to the governor of the state, why Trump wants to send them to New York City and Chicago when no one has requested them? The lies never end with this crooked administration. Hashtag Latinos for Trump. Hashtag Blacks for Trump.
Deployed the National Guard to D.C. to crack down on crime. You visited with them this week.
Yep.
At least 6 Republican states are sending in their own National Guard troops as reinforcement. But many of these states have cities that actually have crime rates that are worse than Washington, D.C. So why aren't these states sending National Guard troops into their own states to deal with the crime issue?
Well, look,
and is that a possibility?
Confederate
the local governors will make that
Eyeliner
determination.
Indian
We'll leave it up to the local governors. But what we have control over is the nation's capital. And if you look, for example, at the murder rate in D.C., it rivals some of the worst cities, the most violent cities anywhere in the world. That's a disgrace for our nation. That's a disgrace for the residents who live in D.C., who just want to take their kids to a park or walk down Union Station or take their family out for a bite to eat without being accosted by a vagrant or a violent criminal.
Crime has dropped
They should have that right.
though, in the nation's capital.
Crime has dropped over 35% in the nation's capital in 10 days because of what Donald J. Trump has done. I think that there's so much more that we could do. Absolutely not. It's not. When you make such big progress in a matter of a week and a half, I think you step on the gas and try to make D.C. even more safe.
Whatever you say, buddy. We gotta totally make this more safe. It's all key, shade, and subtlety up in here. Subtlety. And that, my dear, was reacting to some more hashtag FAFO on TikTok. Please make sure to tell me what you think. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.